Early in the production of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, rumors started to circulate that Patrick Stewart was coming back as Professor X, and that we would also see a version of Magneto. This was never confirmed up until Marvel Studios' head writer of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Michael Waldron, confirmed that early on they did consider Magneto, but that was it. They only considered him for a second, and that was about it. Now we learn exactly why they decided not to include any version of Magneto in the film. Even 1 month before the release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, there was multiple scoopers and journalists out there saying that, yes, Doctor Strange will feature a cameo from Magneto, but they could not confirm whether it was going to be Ian McKellen or Michael Fassbender. Some were even saying both are going to appear. The film would go on to come out, and we would learn that they were just making stuff up and they never appeared in the film. And then, again, Marvel Studios' writer of the film would confirm, yeah, we never considered them. They were never in the scripts. We discussed it before we started writing, but we decided to say no. Well, recently, Empire published another interview with Richie Palmer, one of the producers over at Marvel Studios, and he was asked whether there is any truth to Magneto being in early drafts and whether he could confirm what was stated previously. And he said, well, I can't confirm that those things never came up in conversation, but we never talked about it seriously outside of, hey, Magneto, we're already doing Professor X, so Magneto. But they never went on to implement him into anything more than just mentioning him by name. And by that I mean not mentioning him by name in the film, like just mentioning him in terms of conversation, whether they were going to include him or not. And ultimately, they decided not to include him when they thought about it because it wouldn't make sense. There was already things happening with Professor X that would then bring up the whole mutant thing. And then, if you put him in there, you bring in the connection of Wanda Maximoff being his daughter. And obviously, there's already the Quicksilver connection because of WandaVision and everything, so you would kind of take away from the story that they're telling. Then you would have a father figure, and who knows how that influences Wanda, and so forth, and other things. And from what he says is, there's just too much that would have happened. They would have had to rely too much on the old stuff, aka the old films, the continuity, and all that. That's sort of baggage. So they didn't want to attach that much baggage on it. So ultimately, make just a few members of the Illuminati just members of unique teams, aka Professor X, you know who he is. Black Bolt will quickly tell you Inhumans and move along. Magneto complicates things too much to drop into the multiverse. So they decided very early on, don't even write him into any draft because it's pointless. Too confusing, too convoluted.